Welcome back to the workshop. Expower Lantern. I bought this from Amazon. Must have been at least a year ago. And for the money, I've been quite pleased with it up to now. I say up to now because it's developed a fault. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. If you've not seen one of these before, it's simply a small lantern which can open up, and it's got various settings which I'll go through in a moment. On the back there's a small door. When it's opened, it reveals two ports inside. One's a USB port which can take power out to maybe partially charge a phone in an emergency, and there's also a micro USB port which takes charge in, and that charges up the batteries. On the bottom there's two reasonable magnets, so you can clip this to a metal surface should you wish to do so. They're not the most powerful in the world, but they do the job. You can run this off of AAA batteries just by taking the top off and inserting 3 batteries into the battery compartment. The unit comes with two 18650 batteries that are both 2200 milliamps. To replace the batteries, you simply unscrew the base to reveal the battery housing. Unusually, both the batteries go the same way around, and they just clip in like so, and the base screws back on. To switch the unit on, you simply pull up. The only adjustment there is on this is by the switch at the front. It's not completely dark in here, but I should be able to give you a good idea of the strength of the light. The first setting is supposed to be 185 lumens, although I can't verify that. It's reasonably bright for its size though. The next setting down is a bit dimmer, and I have run this for 8 hours until the batteries have exhausted, which is not bad really for a small lantern. Then we've got emergency red mode, or frisky, depending on how you're feeling. And then we've got flashing emergency, or super frisky, depending on what your mood is. You can also dim this lamp. If you go into the lower setting, or any of the settings, and then if you push the top down, you can reduce the amount of light that's being emitted. Obviously it doesn't do anything to save on power consumption, but it gives you less of a bright light if you need it. Do you remember right at the beginning of this video I said that this Expower Lantern has developed a fault? To charge him up, you've got a cable like this. You've got a USB socket on one side, so you plug that into the USB to get power flowing through, and then the micro USB goes into the micro USB socket. So when he's plugged in and charging, he should look something like this. Here's where we get the problem. The internal workings of the micro USB have come away, so that renders the whole charging process useless. When I say they've come away, what I mean is it's fallen apart and it's floating around inside. Listen. To get a better understanding of what's going on inside, let's take him apart. Let's keep all the bits in one place. With the screws off, I was expecting the base to twist off, but that's not the case. It just pulls off like so. There's an additional 3 screws to remove. Now I understand. This is where the USB out goes, and this is where the micro USB in goes. So the micro USB should sit on top of the USB. You can see from this that the micro USB housing on top has completely come off and is floating around somewhere inside. There he is, the little critter. It's completely broken off. So this is the all important USB-C input, which clicks on the end of the cable and should sit quite happily on there. Clearly it's poorly held on and it's rendered the whole charging system useless. Like many of you out there, I'm not an electronics expert. I'm not about to go and start trying to solder this little piece on there. Firstly, because I probably can't see what I'm doing, and secondly, because I'm probably just going to make a great big mess of it, and thirdly, I just can't be bothered. So if you have bought one of these Expower Lanterns or something similar and you've got a problem with your USB-C charging port, chances are that's what it is. It's simply fallen off. So I've put him back together and he does work. However, without that little piece in place, I can't charge him up. So it renders the whole unit useless. I'm actually very disappointed. Because of poor build quality, this is going to end up in landfill way before its time. I'll have the batteries out the bottom. I can use them in other torches. But apart from that, the whole unit's useless. So I guess the moral of the story is, buyer beware when you're buying cheap pieces of electronic equipment. They may or may not last. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you've got one of this type of lamp and it's good and it hasn't broken, how long has it lasted? Thanks for watching everybody. Feel free to pop back to the workshop anytime.